Good morning. The person that I chose for my interviewee was Peter Woodbury. He is actually a friend of the family, and he worked in this area, and he also um, did volunteer work at the Edgar Casey ARE in Virginia Beach. And he's, like I said, he's a friend of the family, so my stepdad actually knew him pretty well and introduced him to me. Um, Peter Woodbury is a very animated and very passionate person when it comes to not only um, mental health but spiritual, oneness and getting to know yourself better and you know believing that it's not just you but there's a higher power involved also. Um, like I said, he's very spiritual. A lot of his stuff revolves around God, a higher power, whoever person's belief system is, knowing that that is very important to help with the growth and the healing process. Um, for his education, he got his undergraduate degree in psychology from Harvard, and I remember when we were talking, he was telling me how his uncle told him that because he went to Harvard, people are going to think he was 10, 15 times more intelligent than he was. And he's told me that that's a true story. Everybody always hears Harvard first, and then that's they think that he really knows what he's talking about. Um, After Harvard, though, he went to Boston University School of Social Work, and he got his master's degree. And then he trained in hypnotherapy and past life regression with Dr. Brian Weiss and Dr. Alan Chips and Dr. Daniel Brown. Um, he really believes in regression and hypnotherapy. He worked at the Edgar Casey ARE in Virginia Beach. Like I said, that's where my stepfather actually met him. He was my stepfather was a docent there and got to know him and really started to like him. Another thing about education that he told me was that if it wasn't for his mom throughout all this, he probably would have been a gym teacher. So a lot of his motivation and inspiration was his family that helped him really get through all this. And I gotta say, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have gotten through this assignment. He he was busy, but he finally got able to talk to me, and so I was able to get this done, even though it wasn't quite as expedited as I'd like. After school, his work experience, he began as a psychotherapist in Boston. Then his graduate school, like I said, was at Boston University, and he actually was a professor there after for a while. And then when he moved to Virginia Beach, like I said, he became interested in the Edgar Casey and the teachings of Edgar Casey. So he actually started working at the Edgar Casey ARE, and that's the Associate for Research and Enlightenment. That's what the ARE means in Edgar Casey. So, and he was a speaker and a conference facilitator. Um, he also taught regression hypnosis at the Casey Foundation Atlantic University, which is just down the road in Virginia Beach off of 69th Street. He, um, he, when it comes to regression, he actually he's done over 7,000 regression sessions, and that actually started to interest me, the whole regression thing, after talking with him. And I gotta say, at first, I don't know, I was skeptical, but there might be something there. Um, he moved to Chicago recently, and he's been practicing there, where he treats adults and couples. He has actually started his own, doing his own lectures and his own, YouTube videos and things like that after he left the Edgar Casey Foundation to go on his own for, started out trying to do it for a year. He's now on year 2 doing that, so he's doing really well on that. Now, he his actual title and all would be a licensed clinical social worker. So for the questions when we talk about his name, Peter Woodbury, the job title, licensed clinical social worker, and his his degree, like I said, was a master's degree in social work. Um, he uh, he does private practice. Um, his he Like I said, he did private practice here in Virginia Beach and did work at the Edgar Casey Association for Research and Enlightenment, and he also um, he travels extensively and speaks and does tour guides, leading travel programs, spiritually based travel programs around the world. He's gone to places like Egypt and Machu Picchu to help with regression and just help people try to find potential past memories. Um, he really finds helping people solve and understand problems fulfilling. That's where I would say that I relate with him. That's one of the things that interested me in psychology and this whole path was observing people and you know just listening. Um, he helps couples make positive changes in their relationships. He finds that fulfilling. Another thing he finds fulfilling would bring, well, like I said, he's a very spiritual person, so bringing people closer to walking with God or the source, whatever the person identifies to or with, that's what he finds fulfilling, and that's what he really, it's one of his passions. Um, One of his challenges about working in the industry, I think he said, would be he told me he wasn't a fan of having to deal with insurance companies or handling the paperwork or he, the more business admin side of the whole job, and I could definitely relate with him on that. We we laughed about that because I struggle sometimes with the paperwork slash administrative side of things in my life as well. I love the learning, I love the talking, I love helping. I need to be better on some things. How does he do? What does he do to continue his growth, professional growth in the field? Well, to keep up his licensing, he has to take 30 credit hours every 2 years. Um, he offers certification training in life coach and regression hypnosis. He does his continuing education, just like we had to learn about in previous weeks. He was a very interesting guy and very helpful. Um, and what would a recommendation for students be? Well, one thing he did mention was a psychology or social or a degree in psychology or social work is very flexible. He said it's a useful degree. You can do it many things with the degree. That was good for me to hear because I'm still struggling on where I want to focus myself. So I had a very interesting talk with him, and I I was really glad I did. And he's actually a person that I'd like to actually have as a mentor later on in life. I could relate very, very well with him. Mr. Woodbury, I feel like he was like me when he was younger. I am like him when he was younger, where I need that little bit of encouragement and help, but with the potential of what can be done and how we can help is it's amazing. It and you can't do it without God. That's one thing I really believe with and agree with him on that. And his thoughts on past life and hypnosis was very interesting. I never thought about stuff in that career or that path. Just I really enjoyed my talk with Mr. Woodbury, and he answered a lot of questions, but he also created a lot of questions for me about where I want to direct myself and what I'm gonna do to get there. I look forward to answering some of those questions, and I hope this is what you're looking for. I really enjoyed talking to him, and I really look forward to continuing talking to him. Thank you.